Think you know the Titanic? Think again. Welcome to Timaraka. Up next, 40 rare before and after photos that will reshape how you see the Titanic. Let's go. This is what the great promenade deck of the Titanic looked like in 1912. And here's what the deck looks like today. Here's another view of the boat deck of the Titanic. Notice the bench in the corner there? Here's one of those same benches at the bottom of the ocean. This is what the first-class dining room of the Titanic looked like before. And here's what it looks like today. This is what one of the ornate chandeliers in the Titanic's fancier areas looked like brand new. And here's the same chandelier, barely hanging on at the bottom of the sea. This is what the Titanic's anchor looked like as the ship was being built. And here's what it looks like in its final resting place. These are the propellers of the Titanic before its maiden voyage. And here's one of those enormous propellers today. While there are no pictures of the Titanic's grand staircase from before it sank, this is what the grand staircase on the Titanic's sister ship, the Olympic, looked like. And this is what the grand staircase of the Titanic looked like as recent as 2001. This is what the dome of the Titanic's grand staircase looked like before. And this is it collapsed at the bottom of the ocean. Here's what the Titanic's boilers looked like before. And here's one of those boilers now. This is what the first-class elevators look like aboard the nearly identical Olympic ship looked like. And here's one of those same elevators thousands of feet below the water. This what Scotland Road, a long hallway used to traverse the length of the ship, looked like before the tragedy. And here's Scotland Road almost 100 years later. This is what the Turkish baths aboard the Titanic looked like before. Here's a closer look at the detailed tile design. And here's that same spot after, still brightly colored. This is the last photograph ever taken of the Titanic. It sunk 3 days later. And this is where that picture was taken, looks like today. Back to the upper deck. Notice the lifeboat windlass here. Here's one of those today. Here's what the wheel of the Titanic looked like when it was first launched. And here's what it looks like now. The wheel is gone, but the stanchion remains. While we're up here, here's one of the boat deck's davits before. And here it is after. This is what one of the Titanic's smokestacks looked like before being put on the ship. Note the tiny little man in the corner. And here's where one of those smokestacks would have gone today. This is what one of the stained glass windows in the Titanic's first-class area looked like before. And here's one of the same windows decades upon decades later. This is what the Titanic's crow's nest looked like before the ship's maiden voyage. And here's the crow's nest years and years later. And finally, this is what the Titanic's bow looked like before setting off. And here's the bow today.